Welcome back to part 2 of Village Banking. If you haven't already watched part 1, I encourage you to go watch part 1 before you watch this video. Reason being is you understand what Village Banking is, the models and the benefits of it, before we even get to the challenges or how to make it effective, which we are about to do in this video. So let's get into it. Like every investment, Village Banking also has some of the challenges, some of which I have experienced firsthand, and it really was stressful, and others have already. Looked at these comments here. So basically, putting up this video together would just help us understand some of these challenges and how they can be avoided. One of the challenges, which I think is a big deal in Village Banking, is forcing people to borrow money. The money, I mean, like mentioned in the previous video, everybody puts in money for their savings and we share that money, like people borrow that money. Sometimes the money is in excess, such that not everyone has a plan for their money and they don't want to borrow. So because there's excess money, we force it to a person in the group and say, you have to take this money because you didn't borrow last month. As a result, the people who borrow that money fail to pay. You're forcing people to borrow money when they don't have a plan for it. That becomes a challenge. As a result, leads to loan defaulting. Lack of accountability as a Village Banking can make your financial scheme organization really become a challenge to you attaining your financial goals as a team, because there's no accountability on who keeps the money, who's ensuring people are paying on time, when the meetings are, what are your interest rates, or the financial system in the Village Banking. Because that is porous, the group eventually has challenges. Another challenge when it comes to lack of accountability is just the fact of having a constitution that guides you on what you can do and what you cannot do as a team. If those measures are not placed and there's no accountability for the banking, that becomes a challenge. So, getting into part 2 of this video, which is how can a Village Banking be effective? How can it run effectively? Number one is when there is a system or there is a guideline on what exactly you want to achieve, there are certain things that have been put and certain measures put in place, then I believe the Village Banking cannot be a demon and can work effectively. Like earlier mentioned in part 1 of this video, a Village Banking is a village banking. You have to be familiar with everybody in the group. At least have a background of what the person does, where they take that money, or how capable are they to pay whatever amount they are borrowing. Don't just allow people in a Village Banking you barely know. I even think a great idea is people should declare assets. If I default, you can get my house. If I default, you can get my car. That really makes Village Banking effective. If Village Banking must work, then the entrusted accountant must be trustworthy. Zero tolerance to defaults. When people borrow the money, they have to learn to pay back. So there has to be strict measures to ensure that that is attained. If you're going to be zero tolerance to loan defaulting, then you also have to put strict measures to ensure the interest is paid on time. At least the interest should not be compromised with number one, so that by the end of the 3 months term of somebody's loan, you're able to recover only the principal, for example. I heard of one Village Banking. It's a group of and usually Village Banking is for women. I've never heard men, well, I've heard one man only. talk about, no, I've got village banking. Usually it's for ladies, and there's a particular group of ladies. So what they do is they pull out money together, and they've started a towel business. So they approach people who are doing construction, get a tender of doing their towels, and they make money out of it and share it every year. And the women have no problem. Why? Because they understand each other, they are familiar with each other. So that is important. The last but not the least is every village banking must strive to be the best. And by being the best, you all must be hungry for financial literacy. I think it becomes a problem if there is a huge gap. My recommendation, if village banking must be effective, then don't just focus on let's save money as a group, but let's learn together as a group. What are the investment options? What are the business options? There's an idea I had quite some time. I wanted to form anyway, it's my idea. Somebody will copy this. Eventually, I'll share it. But it would be very effective to have, let's say, a 1-hour financial literacy session before you even start your financial meeting, where you deal with debt, where you deal with reviewing people's businesses within the group. That becomes effective because you're not only building your financial muscle, but you're also building your financial literacy muscle in a way that you're able to even advise each other. I feel like this business won't go well. It's a season of COVID. Try and do it next year. You're able to brainstorm together. The fact that you're able to share knowledge will open up even more wisdom and opportunities for you as a group. Village banking must be effective. You also have to figure out a way to deal with excess money. I mentioned that excess money can be a reason why you force people to borrow and they fail to pay. I would say if there's excess money, you'd rather save that excess money in a fixed deposit account so that it accumulates an interest. And if somebody is ready to borrow that money, then you can give it to them. Another alternative is, let's say your village banking is a year. You can invest that money into a treasury bill. The treasury bill elapses after 1 year, which means after the year is done, you'll be able to get the money and have it during the share out. So if there's excess money, save it into an account. And also have an account. The previous village banking I was in, even the calculations we don't understand, because the people who we thought knew it were really taking out the change out of it. So if you're going to have an account as a group, you're able to just print out the bank statement if it's monthly, and everybody can have a look at it. You can alternatively have a group village banking account, and before the meeting, people deposit the money into the bank account, and all they bring at the meeting is a receipt, and whoever is in charge, 3 or 4 signatories, do the transactions at the village banking. That way, you avoid the risk of entrusting only one person with the money, and they can run away with the money. Several village bankings I've heard of, this one ran away with 400, and my own testimony, I lost a 50,000 in village banking. 3 different types of village bankings, and after that I just decided no, might not be for me. Why? Because of the type of people I was dealing with. So village banking must be effective, understand the system of how village banking works, understand the benefits of it, understand the challenges, then come up with a solution, come up with a template of how you're going to navigate this. Otherwise, I'm just looking for the best people. Village banking can be a very helpful financial tool to everyone if we understand how effective it works. So that's basically everything that we had to share in this video. Thank you for watching, and make sure you understand the investment you're getting into. Make sure you also subscribe. Until the next video, bye.